hair. It's just the way my hair is lately. Um, so I've had a couple people since yesterday's live stream or early this morning's live stream. Had a couple people ask me, what are my thoughts on the next Resident Evil game? And after thinking about it last night and early this morning and getting some sleep, and just kind of debating on what I think needs to happen for the next Resident Evil, I do think we need a Code Veronica remake. I do think Code Veronica is just one of those games that needs to be redone. It's an amazing game. It would be awesome to get it remade and to see Claire go through the game and have updated visuals and all that kind of stuff, updated camera views. That would be awesome. The other game that a lot of people have dismissed for a long time because it came out on PS2 back in the day, and I absolutely loved it. I thought it was a great game, and it was an open world game. And a lot of people played the heck out of it. I played the heck out of it. I still have my 2 copies of the game. That particular game that I'm talking about, or I should say multiple games, because there were 2 games that came out, and then there was a third one that apparently was in the processing or partial development, but then it was later canceled. And nobody knows why it was canceled because the first 2 games sold immensely well for Capcom. I honestly think... Hey, what's up, Sean? I honestly think that Resident Evil Outbreak needs to make a comeback. I think we have the technology now where we could do, or they could do, I should say, a Resident Evil game that would be completely open world, and it would be so cool to be able to go through not just Raccoon City streets. That would be cool, don't get me wrong. To be able to go through Raccoon City and go through like the zoo and the cemetery and the clock tower and some just the iconic locations from Resident Evil. The police station, the courtyards, the sewer system, the dead factory, um, just all locations from Resident Evil. It would be really cool to actually have it. You start off in the mountains, and you come across the mansion, and you and your friends, hey, Knight, welcome, welcome, welcome. It'd be really cool to go through the mansion, like after the events of Chris and Jill and all of them, or maybe even before the events, and then you go through all this stuff. Like I was thinking, if they would change the way the parameter of the game worked, like you'd be the first person to actually go through the mansion before Chris and Jill and Barry and all them actually went through the mansion. And if you die in the mansion, you kind of die like where certain characters are, and you become the zombies eventually of the Resident Evil game. And then it kind of fits into the timeline that you were one of the researchers trying to escape. You didn't make it out. To me, that would be really cool to actually have, a Resident Evil where it is completely open world. Like you start off in the mansion and then you make your way through the mansion, down the mountain, into town. And then that's when the virus has started to kind of go throughout the city, and you are a researcher just trying to survive. And then you meet up people, you meet other players, while you are in that particular thing. Like you could meet players from around the world that they start off life in different parts of the game. So one person starts off as a police officer, they should have been doing that when they've been doing all the Mortal Kombat Street Fighter collections with all the games on one game. Well, Sean, that's a completely different company. That is not Capcom. Capcom is pretty much just Resident Evil. Um, I mean, there's a couple other games that they have in their arsenal, of course, but I think Resident Evil is the most popular one out of all of them. But I still think that it would be really cool to have it set up where you go through different lives of different people in the city, and like one person starts off at the library of Raccoon City, and you're walking around the library, and all of a sudden, certain people end up getting sick, and then they fall over, they die, and you watch them die. And these are non-playable characters, and then that's how your journey starts. You're trying to help these people figure out what the hell is going on, and you're trying to get them medical care, and you're trying to, hey, Greg fan, welcome, welcome, welcome. Um, but yeah, you're trying to get them help, and you're trying to like assist them. Maybe you meet a police officer or something in the game as you're playing it, and you're progressing in Resident Evil Outbreak remastered or remake. I would love to see another Outbreak game come to Resident Evil. I think it is just such a amazing concept. I think that it's one of the best concepts actually that Capcom ever came out with. What for Rose Toilet? I don't know what that is. For Rose Toilet, Brushwick 2. I have no idea what that is. Lang. I apologize. But I think Resident Evil Outbreak needs to happen at this point. Yes, Code Veronica would be great to be able to play. Even, hey, username 450, welcome. I think Outbreak should be number one on Capcom's list. I think number two, Code Veronica, because Code Veronica is such an amazing game. I think Dead Aim should be on that list. A lot of people did not need or like Dead Aim, but actually thought it was kind of an interesting concept being on a cruise ship. Kind of remind me of there was a game that came out. I think it was on Game Gear, or maybe it was Game Boy Advance. Resident Evil, I think it was called Gaian, and you played as Barry Burton on a cruise ship, and it was a terrible game, but the concept was solid. You were on a ship, and on the ship the virus broke out, kind of like how Dead Aim is. The virus, the virus broke out, a T virus, and it started to affect all the passengers and crews and things like that. And I think that is a really cool concept because you're contained on a ship, so you have to deal with the infection on the ship. That would have been a really cool remake, I think, to have nowadays, especially with all of the myths of the Titanic. It'd be really cool to actually have a Resident Evil on a Titanic type of ship where you are stuck on this ship and there are multiple players. Or they could do that with the Outbreak game, is that you get out of the city, get on a ship, and the ship is infected, and you have to deal with the outbreak on the actual ship. And it could be like a huge ship, like Titanic size, maybe even bigger than Titanic, like Carnival Cruise type of ship. And you're walking through the corridors as normal people are trying to survive. You got players that are trying to survive, but then you also have the crew that's trying to survive. Try to survive, but you also have them trying to stop the infection. And you got people that are killing each other trying to stop the infection because they think everybody's infected. That would be a really cool concept. I didn't play most of the non-PlayStation versions of that game. Yeah, I agree. A lot of the games I did not play until I got much older. One of the games in particular that I never got a chance to play was not Gaiden. It was actually one of the games that came out, I think it was on Xbox, and I can't remember. It was a Resident Evil, and then they ported it over to oh, okay, cool. Username. They ported it over to the mobile game, which eventually became like Resident Evil Degeneration or something like that. I did not get a chance to play that mobile game before they took it off of the store. And I mean, that's a really old game. I mean, that came out when we still had like the big black box phones, like the ones that were like that big, and they were like huge back in the day. Uh, they weren't flat like what I'm using right now. They were. Um, Oh, somebody asked, map size, does it matter? Yeah, it actually does, in my opinion. Um, I think having, again, an outbreak game in the game where you are in the city escaping, I think being there at the gas station, that's an iconic part of Resident Evil, or one of the many gas stations that was probably in town. The clock tower is another one. Dead Factory is another one. Um, the cemetery was another iconic place in Resident Evil 3 that I think needs to be in the Outbreak series. Um, because I think we have the technology now with PlayStation 5 and with PlayStation 6 on the horizon, and then you've got, the new Xbox that's been announced, which they haven't really given a whole lot of info on. But I do think that it is one of those things where we kind of have to look at it from the perspective. Hey, girls! Sorry, my girls are doing something. There's a dog, I think, trying to. Somebody got behind my fence as I'm doing a live stream. Hey, I didn't say you can go back there. Artemis Maya, get over here. Come on. Come on, let's go. Come on. Come on, let's go. I have a barrier up, and my dog decided to climb over it because she wanted to go see the puppies. So, yeah, I'm in the backyard with the girls. They're having fun. It's what they do. They sound so evil and so mean when they're, like, playing. But to get back to my thing, I think we have the technology, and you may hear them in the background yelling and screaming. But we have the technology now, I think, with Resident Evil in regards to, PlayStation 5, PlayStation 6, the new Xbox that's got announced. I think we have the technology to actually have a Outbreak game and have a really amazing Outbreak game. And I think that'd be so cool to be able to jump on with other players around the world, be able to play the game offline, but also be able to play it with people online. So you can go through the whole city, you can go through a cruise ship, you go through another area of the iconic Resident Evil like places. It'd be so cool because I'm playing Requiem right now, and I'm in the city of Raccoon City, and I'm going through like all the streets and stuff, and I'm blown away by like the detail, the level of detail that they've put into the game that we did not have when the first game came out and the second game came out, and you're playing as Leon, you're going through the streets and everything. We didn't like when I grew up and I was playing Resident Evil 2, which by the way is one of my favorite games of all time. When do I think GTA 6 is coming out? Not till December of this year. If not this year, 2027 is probably the more likely scenario. They may say it could come out in August, but honestly, based on the fire and everything else that's going on with Rockstar, I have no confidence that that's going to get released anytime soon. Marvel Collection on pre-order at GameStop. Yeah, I was kind of hoping for that too. Hey, Mothy Trap. Hey, what's up, man? But yeah, I think Resident Evil, Code Veronica definitely on the list. Dead Aim, another one on the list. I would do a remake on. I would also do a remake of Outbreak. That would be my next game in the series that I would love to see a remake on, because I think it would be really cool to have a remake of Outbreak, especially going through the zoo, which, by the way, was planned for Resident Evil 3. They had a whole section of the zoo that they were planning to release as DLC, but they canceled it because the game didn't sell very good. And that's because they rushed it out the door. They rushed it. I can't tell you after playing it how many times. I probably played that thing like 40 times now. Um, yeah, they rushed it out the door. And that's why it failed. It failed because they rushed it, they didn't take their time, and then they also deleted a lot of the locations that made Resident Evil 3 what it was, which is like the Dead Factory, the park, the cemetery, the clock tower, just to name a few. They deleted those particular areas because they were trying to save time to get the game out to beat like the Christmas rush. And yeah, can't wait to be in your apartment. We'll be playing Diablo 4 a lot. Yeah, and I'll be joining you on that because that will be a fun time, Sean. But that's my thoughts on the next Resident Evil. This is what I think is going to happen. And I'm looking forward to the future Resident Evil. After playing Requiem, there's a couple different videos that I have up on the channel right now. Um, I think I'm going to set up a live stream here for Wednesday. Do a live stream with you guys on Wednesday. Maybe we could do Resident Evil Requiem, depending on how far I get. Again, I'm in Raccoon City right now. I just got to the police station in Raccoon City in it, and I'm having a blast. My review is also up of where it is. Parawife is doing good, man. She's doing good. She's a little tired, but she's been sick the last week and a half with a little bit of a head cold. So, but yeah, I that's where I think Resident Evil needs to shine. It needs to come out with an Outbreak. Um, I'm looking forward. Oh, excuse me. I'm looking forward to seeing what the next Resident Evil game is going to be, because Requiem is just a beast of a game. I'm having a lot of fun with it. I definitely recommend, if you are a Resident Evil fan. Excuse me. Um, if you're a Resident Evil fan, you definitely owe it to yourself to pick up Requiem. It is worth the $50 that they're asking for it. Even just the standard edition. A lot of people bought the deluxe edition. You don't need the deluxe edition. All it does is add a couple costumes, which isn't really that good of an incentive for buying the deluxe. Yeah, it comes with a steel book and whatnot, but I honestly think that we are right now approaching the golden age of Resident Evil, and I'm looking forward to it. And don't know if you guys saw, but in May the Mortal Kombat movie comes out. It was delayed for a while. Looks like May is going to be when that particular movie comes out. That's going to be interesting. But I'm looking forward to, if they do release DLC, which from everything that I'm seeing, the rumors, there's going to be some massive DLC with Requiem. And I'm looking forward to that. A lot of people were like, they got this DLC coming out with Leon, and, I'm not sure about it. But you know what? After playing Requiem, I have to say I'm actually kind of, excited about, like, what they're going to do with the DLC. And I will be buying the DLC and playing that. But, yeah. So, that's it for me. I look forward to doing a live stream here. I'll do a poll tomorrow on what live stream you guys want to see. I do also have my Share Play event. I'm going to plug that again next Sunday on the 14th. I'm going to be doing a Share Play event where I share my whole collection to individuals that jump in on PlayStation Network. I will share whatever game that they want to try and give them an hour to play it. And I'm gonna try to see if I can live stream that or record that. But yeah, I I'm looking forward to that. I get to actually watch somebody play a game that they probably can't afford. I put it in a couple of the Resident Evil groups that, like, if you can't afford the Resident Evil game, I'm doing a share play event. So if somebody wants to play Resident Evil, the new one, and they've never gotten an opportunity to play it, or they just can't afford it, that's why I'm doing it, because I get not being able to afford a game when you really want something. And this is my way of, like, giving back to my community of gamers by giving them an opportunity to play a game that they normally wouldn't be able to buy, or wouldn't be able to get on the budget, because we all have a budget, all of us. I mean, I do go to work, and it's one of those things where I get it. Budget gaming, man. I mean, I get it completely. But that's it for me for the stream for right now. But again, let me know what your thoughts are, and I'll do another live stream here probably tomorrow after work. We'll sit down, we'll talk, and I'll answer some of your guys' questions that you guys bring up. So again, thank you guys so much for watching. I will catch you guys in the next live stream. Hopefully it'll be on Wednesday when we do a massive one. And again, Resident Evil Outbreak needs to happen. That's all I'm going to say. Take care of each other and yourselves out there, and we will see you soon. All right. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and checking out the live stream. Good night, everybody.